has been duly advertised in South Jersey Times and Sentinel. The municipal clerk of the township has been duly notified and the requirements of posting of notices have been met. If you would please stand with me for the pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have an additional member. Present. The first item this evening is our student presentation by Mr. White. That's what I said that correctly. And Mrs. Gallo. Go ahead and give us your presentation.
Our school has many activities for students and common schools. A popular event on Monday is the color run. During the color run, kids enjoy having fun with friends while bonding with other students. The teachers also take part in the display of students with colored water. The students get to wear different styles of colored t-shirts, and finally at an event, the kids have these colorful tie-dye shirts and a special piece of clothing, and they will always remind you of this moment.
This year, we are also doing a veteran breakfast, where we invite veterans and first responders to eat their breakfast and to talk with the student council. The student council serves the veterans and first responders, thanking them for their service and everything they have done. This allows students to interact and make conversation with first responders and veterans. This special event will occur on the morning of May 29th. The school also does the I-Ready program to reinforce our academics in math and reading. The school's academic incentive committee also allows students the opportunity to earn awards if you regularly complete I-Ready individual lessons. This happens 2 times a year, and if you reach your I-Ready goal, you will get to go to a reward celebration. If you meet your goal each month, you will get miniature gifts like pencils, cookie coupons, or even a free appetizer from Applebee's. This system inspires all students to work hard on I-Ready and complete their work. During the celebrations, we'll have a blast at how fun these celebrations are. The last celebration was the Super Bowl themed pep rally, which was planned because it happened the week before the Super Bowl. Of course, the gym was cheering for the Eagles and was having so much fun. Last year, we had an end of the year dodgeball party where all students were able to join. Of course, people that did extra were rewarded for their job, and for many, it was a spectacular event.
If you're very excited about the coming event, we will talk about some of the fun experiences that we had so far this year. Not long ago, the sixth graders visited a tiny house community called Operation Safety Net. This community is designed to help veterans with severe PTSD, which is also known as post-traumatic stress disorder. What amazing the most is the founder of this community is named PTSD himself, and overtrained by creating this community, it not only helps them but helps others. Everyone in this community plays a role and helps out by doing many things like cooking their gardens, helping out animals, and most of all helping each other. The kids love to see this and had an amazing time there. We look forward to completing and presenting our Time Math project later this spring. The Time Math project will allow sixth grade students the opportunity to use math, science, and social skills to develop and build kind of talent and kindness.
Another thing we do is First Friday. Many students can earn a place in First Friday reward. On the first Friday of those months, our school holds the First Friday program. Using a Google form, our school then uses this information to help choose what First Friday event is right for you. These events are available to students who demonstrate positive work habits, behavior, and attendance. Some activities that are included in First Friday are stand-up, floor time, floor game, have multiple after-school activities, including drama club, chorus, band, fitness club, art club, creative writing club, and many more. These clubs have many things that students can learn from. In the school, these clubs are ran by numerous teachers and are done at different times of the week. Some of these clubs bring things like the spring and winter concert, and the play, this year being Matilda Junior, to be held on May 21st and 22nd. Some clubs, such as fitness club, improve people's physical health, while clubs like band help with musical ability. These clubs are very nice to have in our rigorous school community.
Recently, visited science classes took part in an egg drop experiment, where students designed protective structures to safeguard their eggs. Then they dropped the creations from a significant height, aiming to prevent the eggs from breaking upon impact. On March 14th, kids across the school had a Pi Day celebration. During Pi Day, the students get to bring in circular objects and trees to define the diameter of the circle. They also hold a contest with moving to the most digital pie. Mr. Peters, our principal, has engaged us in many conversations about how the school operates this year. We had an opportunity to discuss with him about our school budget, structure of assembly, and how to order items for our students, activities now. He has also met with the entire student council to get our position on the updated school schedule and the accessibility of our council. Our school student council representatives are also working with Mr. Peters and teachers to review the use of AI in our school. It is really nice that we, as students, are provided the opportunity to give input into how our school operates and the decisions that impact students.
This year, we had several assemblies, including IROC Homeland Safety Assembly, motivational speaker Chris Collier, and a Gloucester County Superior Court judge. Specifically, the IROC Assembly speaker discussed cyberbullying, how to prevent this, the importance of preventing it, and the problem people may face without preventing it. This taught students that bullying is not cool, especially online. Lastly, we are working with our technology teacher, Ms. Kraft, to transition our morning announcements form over the PA system to an actual video production. Using new pieces of technology equipment at our school, we have started producing morning announcement videos. It is really neat to not only record ourselves in the video, but to also use programming skills to edit it. We feel like bloggers. Now, I would like to thank you for giving us this chance to speak about how our year has been going and what is in store for us.
We hope you have a wonderful day and enjoy our speech that we represent. Thank you for your time.
Thank you guys for coming out this evening. I want to follow up on one item you guys mentioned, which was the electronic device policy. What's your guys' feedback as far as cell phones and in school? And like, do you guys carry cell phones and do you find they distract you? Or?
I feel like we shouldn't have like phones out all the time, or like I feel like we should only have them like during recess or like lunch, not like during classes.
I feel like the phone can be distracting at sometimes, but sometimes it can be boring.
Right. So we should probably continue to allow you guys to have the phones, but just at appropriate times, right? So, great. Thank you, because that's a policy we're going to be working on very shortly, so we appreciate your feedback on that. Thank you. Thanks for coming this evening. Any other questions? All right, the next item on our agenda this evening is our first public comment portion. This first agenda item is evidence. So I'll make a motion we have this public. Second.
Second.
All in favor? Is there anyone from the public who would like to address the board? You guys know the agenda this evening? Seeing no one, I make a motion to close this public. Second.
Second.
All in favor? I don't have anything specific to report this month. Mr. Bethany, Superintendent report.
I want to thank Nathan and Deanna again. Good great job. I watched the video yesterday. You guys were awesome. We had 2 girls do it today. I think they're, as Peter said, every day you'll rotate through different students. And the graphics on it are terrific. This graph, the American flag kind of fades in and it's fluttering, and as you're saying, the Pledge of Allegiance, it's really a neat thing. I'll send you guys a link so you can check it out. It's awesome to be able to see that as opposed to listening to the morning announcement. So thank you to the staff and our presenters.
Is there a way that parents can use it as well?
That's a good question. Mr. Peters, is there a way parents can watch the morning announcements?
So we are going to start putting them on a Ritter School YouTube, but we are still at the beginning stages, so probably in another week or 2, that is the plan.
Thank you.
And then once we have that established, it'll be sent out in our weekly email.
Great, thank you. You see on the agenda tonight that I'm recommending that May 23rd be used for the Lunch, Snow, and Makeup Day. It's a professional development day now for staff only. My proposal is that it become an early dismissal day for students. If you approve tonight, make sure you get the word out, social media, letter from me, text, everything get out to the parents so they know that May 23rd, that Friday, is going to be an early dismissal day for our students, and then PD in the morning for behavior and the afternoon for our school. I'm also recommending the 25-26 calendar based on our conversation from last week. The board had recommended we look at some days earlier in 2026 in case we had an early closing in late 2025. My first year as superintendent, Hurricane Sandy hit, and we were closed the first 2 days of school. We shouldn't have to wait until the end of the school year to make up those days. So in the calendar that I presented to you, January 16th, 2026, hard to think of that far ahead, and March 20th, 2026 would be those days used for potential makeup days, and then the other ones will be added on at the end of June. Hopefully we don't get to that. Those 2 calendars are on the agenda tonight for your approval. I also want to thank Henry Liu, our maintenance guys, and Principal Kovic for dealing with the gas leak the other day at JM Beer. It turned out to be nothing, but standing out there, the wind blew a certain way, you get a hint of gas, but Henry jumped on it right away, evacuated the school in a very orderly manner. That's why we do drills. The fire department came, our SRO was there, and all went very well. It was a minor leak that was corrected and repaired over the weekend. Thank you, Henry, for taking charge, and to Lou and Henry do a great job every single day here in the district. And I also lastly wanted to thank the staff and all the guest speakers that came in to Read Across America Week last week in the schools. If you get a chance, look on Facebook. Classes dressed as day 1, day 2. The teachers were all dressed up. The kids were dressed up. We had Cat in the Hat come in. I think it was just a great celebration of reading across the district. Never having experienced that before in this district, I was thoroughly impressed by everything I saw. So kudos to our students, our staff, and our educators for making Read Across America Week very powerful. Thank you.
So on April 4th, they're having a school public relations forum. This program is to help enhance communication. It also touches on AI. That is in Trenton at the New Jersey School Board Association headquarters. That's from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. And then on April 11th, we're having an Equity Expo. That's at the Conference Center at Mercer County College, and that's also from 9:30 to 3:30 p.m.
Thank you, Mr. Frank. Any liaison reports? Not moving on to the approval of our minutes from February 10th, regular board meeting, and work session from February 19th. Everyone was had an opportunity human resources, no changes there, with the exception of, under G4, our accepting the resignation of employee ID number 2548, in addition to, accepting a settlement agreement, for the same employee ID number 2548, the two additions, human resources. Any other comments on that? Are there any board member questions on human resources items? Hearing none, I'll make a motion to approve human resources items G1 through G.
And do we're policy committee met tonight, and we're recommending first reading of accepting policy 5516 electronic communication and 2365 AI as first reads. Committee had a chance to review Mr. Peters, myself, tonight, and go through those policies, and we're recommending, John, that we push those into a first reading, and then hopefully a second reading next month for a final approval.
I'll just go over real quick some of the highlights of each one. All right, so policy 2365 is the AI policy. Came about through the AI committee, which is from Ritter, based in Ritter staff, some students with the representatives about administration. They also have reached out to Delcy so that some of the, not some, but a lot of what they recommended in the policy or within the policy coincides with what Delcy is doing as well. There will be an AI protocol that's going to be developed as we get more into this situation with AI and how it's used not only by students but by staff. There isn't a committee right now for Champion Road because it's not felt that it's necessary. That could happen in the future as it progresses. The focus of it, of the policy itself, is student and teacher use of AI, when and how. It will eventually expand into other subject areas, so most likely will expand into other policies as we get into the future. But for right now, it's really just a guide as to how teachers can use it in the classroom, or in school, I should say. Policy 5116 is the use of electronic communication. Some of it was language change. The policy doesn't necessarily approve the use of electronic devices, but it also doesn't disapprove it. Basically, the main intent of the policy, and I'm going to read a little blurb right from it, says, this policy is not intended to prohibit appropriate use of electronic devices or authorize or approve official curricular or school-sponsored co-curricular activities, such as yearbook, photographs, staff, member, teacher directives, and approved activities, classroom presentations, and drama production filming. Basically, this is going to, the regulation with this policy is going to dictate when and if devices can be used. It has to be approved by a faculty or staff member. The regulation also is going to align or does align with current handouts that we have, student handbooks that are already in the district. And it also will list in regulation consequences, but they're kind of separated from primary, from the lower grades to the upper grades, as to what those consequences would be. And the video about.
So, I have a question, Joe. So theoretically, the cell phone issue really will see no change on in reality in the school system.
No, from the recommendation from administration, the procedures that they have in place right now, they feel are adequate and working, and they didn't see a need to make any drastic changes in them.
Is there any more questions? I don't know. Okay, so we have human resources items to include those two policies on first read that we'll get the, I guess, the bodies review prior to our next meeting. So that'll be human resources items G1 through G13. I make a motion to approve Any other comments, questions? Roll call, please.
Brown? Wilson? Smith? Star? Bailey?
Yes.
Cunningham? Yes. Maruso?
Yes.
Brett?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, education items, been no changes that I'm aware of. Any board member comments or questions? Hearing none, make a motion to approve education items H1 through H5 as recommended by the superintendent. Do I have a second? Any other comments? Clerk, will you roll?
Smith?
Yes.
Star? Bailey?
Yes.
Cunningham? Yes. Maruso?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Brett?
Yes.
Motion carries.
General administration, superintendent's report. Again, I hopefully we'll make revisions from our work sessions, and therefore I'll make a motion, there's no other comments. Make a motion to approve general administration items I1 through I6 as recommended by the superintendent. Do I have a second? Motion and second, any other comments? First of all,
Maruso?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Star? Bailey?
Yes.
Cunningham?
Yes.
Brett?
yes.
Motion carries.
All right, operations, any additions or?
No changes from the,
Any board member questions or comments on operations? Sure.
On bill list 2, this is just curious, I should have asked you before. And then the electric bill, it says fiscal year 25, $18,000. How long a period is that, Trish? I don't want to put you on the spot, do you know? A couple of months.
they're probably the ones we make then, what is.
Okay, I was just curious. I mean, if that's any indication of what we're going to be dealing with.
Yeah, that's probably, I would say,
Yeah, I was gonna say, I recognize these bills once a month, yeah, but
But it's not like a quarter of the year.
no, that's, I'm going to say it's only a month, but I can't obviously.
You don't have to, I was just curious, I just wanted to, yes, I've got none on the bill.
your bill's not that high in the summer when you're.
It is, what, 2 months.
No, so to that point, Barb, I think the point you're making is that our electricity, we will be going up 17% from what we understand. So if our bill, is $250,000 a year, that's what, $50,000 increase. Were there any other questions on operations? Hearing none, make a motion to approve operations items J1 through J18 as recommended by the superintendent. Do I have a second? Any other comments? Trish, will call over.
Star?
Yes, except J1, being the bill is
Bailey?
Yes.
Cunningham?
Yes.
Maruso?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Wilson? Smith?
Yes.
Brett?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Old business, board goals, anyone have any comments? We have a calendar that outlines, board business in here. Anyone have any new business? Yes, we're gonna have a second executive session. So there's no other new business, I'll make a motion, we have our second public comment portion. Do I have a second? All in favor? We're open for public comment, but I'd like to address the board. Seeing none, I make a motion.
Now you're not quick enough there, Mr. Pratt. You slowed down.
You weren't quick enough to get up.
What? Come on. I wanted to just leave it out there, So. I did come to compliment the board, actually, okay, in a somewhat way, okay, and I'll ad-lib. No, I'll ad-lib a little bit from what I had prepared. I want to compliment the board on hiring Mr. Betts, all right? And I had a number of comments here. You know, Jason, you like knocked me right out of my comment here, but you know, I can work it through. But that's all right. Okay. So, I just want to put out to the board that, the atmosphere in this district has changed completely. Now, let me also state this. Mr. Walton did a great job leading this district in many ways for the 11 years that he was here. He was open to new programs. He was open to allowing Mrs. Golden in the curriculum office to implement new things, to work things out. And given that we're at that 5-year anniversary of the worst thing that's ever happened to our children, he was an unbelievable leader when it came to COVID. He kept this district open, and members of the board, you can thank the fact that he kept this district open and I didn't fight him for my membership chasing me out and letting me say, that's it, I'm done, okay? That being said, because we both felt the same way. So Mr. Walton there was a lot of great things. However, there was also a staff, and I've talked to the board about this in in the past, you really threw me off here, mainly concerned with some of the tension that was created, mostly around teacher observations and teacher attendance. And I would venture to guess that if we looked at teacher attendance this year compared to prior years, that it's better. I would also venture to guess that we're not going to see anywhere near as much staff turnover at the end of this year as we've seen in previous years. I went to copy this article for the board members, but unfortunately the copy machine wasn't working. But I'm going to email it to all of you just so that you can have it. It's a really short read. It's only a 3-minute read. And it talks about why teachers choose different schools. I have close to 300 sick days. Yet last year, had I needed to take off a Friday or a Monday, I would have had to provide a sick note. That kind of atmosphere just doesn't work. When you hire Mr. Betts this September, it's been amazing. You get his emails. You see the emails that he sends out. Mr. Betts is in the schools and in the classrooms, and he mentions his time in the schools. He knows his teachers. He knows his support staff. He knows his maintenance staff. And again, I think there's going to be likely a less turnover this year than there has been in the past. In the 35 years I've been here, and I'm not leaving yet, I know some of you want me gone, but anyway, Mr. Betts stands as one of the 3 best superintendents we have had. The other 2, in my opinion, were Mr. Scavelli, who was only here for 3 years, and Mr. Fleming, who was here as an interim for 1 year. Why do those 3 gentlemen stand out in my mind? Because they cared about the people who worked for them. They generally cared about that. Last month, there was a comment made, about when are we going to search for a new superintendent. I'm unclear as to why that comment would have been made publicly, because Mr. Betts was trying to work out something that makes sense for the calendar for the rest of this year. I do know this, that, and Mr. Starr, I just will address this directly, I have the opportunity to work with your husband's employees over and over again through my real estate business, and they love working for that man. They just love his management style. And I don't know why we wouldn't want, this board wouldn't want that management style to carry on to the teachers in this district. In this era of one of the biggest teacher shortages in 40 years, teacher morale would be prominent in the minds of the board members, and it should be. And you would want good teachers to stay. In closing, I'd like to suggest to the board that when you're ready to search for a full-time superintendent, you don't really have to look far. Because in my opinion, and this is just one person's opinion, I think you have somebody in this district who would be perfect to take that role. And I think Mr. Peters knows this district well, and he's demonstrated his commitment to our district, and he certainly could lead this district well. Thank you.
I was a little confused, but I almost thought you were going to say that we should hire Stephanie's husband as the new superintendent.
That could work too.
For y'all.
We still have a lot of issues.
He wouldn't take that pay cut.
What? Stephanie, I don't blame you a bit, okay? Not at all.
Hi, my name is Pauline Bittner, Vice President TFEA. I just wanted to read something real quick. At the last board meeting, it was stated by one of the members that they were unaware that teachers were not happy. Prior to the school year, we have lost highly qualified teachers due to work environment. I would like to share the opinions of some of these individuals who left during the previous administration. A teacher put in for retirement because of working conditions, not because she wanted to retire. She decided to question her administrator as to why they were so hard on her. The response was that they were told to be that way by their administrator. A teacher looking for a new job because of pay scale and work conditions found a new position. She inquired of her association representative if she could get in trouble for lying and saying she was leaving due to her commute. In her opinions, teachers who left for commuting reasons were treated better during their exit than those who left for working conditions or pay. Another teacher approached an association rep about the use of sick days. Governor Murphy had enacted a mandate that allowed teachers to use their acquired sick time to care for family. This teacher's family member was scheduled, was scheduled for a surgical procedure and would need a Friday and a Monday off. They were concerned the superintendent would not accept the doctor note and they would be docked for pay. The superintendent was known for trying to ignore or work around the governor's mandate. She felt it was easier to cancel the surgery than try and work that out. A further example of the disrespect we have received in the past can be found at the Board of Education work session meeting from April 19, 2023, where teachers were referenced as a circus. With our president superintendent, we are getting positive emails. Some of us were suspicious of the emails and questioned them at first, which I told you about. We haven't had this kind of communication from a superintendent, and it is welcomed. The last statement I want to share is one overheard this year, someone stating, "This is the first year that I don't want to quit." Showing respect and valuing your staff goes a long way. Thank you for your time.
Good evening, Stacy. Did you want to say something?
No, I said good evening.
Oh, good evening, Stacy Swope, TFEA President. I do agree with John that we should try to keep Brian Betts around as long as possible, and we should absolutely be in no rush. It's an honor tonight to speak on Brian's behalf, and it's been a pleasure to work with him on behalf of TFEA. The phrase that Brian used last month at the February board meeting was, "You get more flies with honey," and who knew that would get such a backlash at last month's board meeting, which he did not deserve at all, because you've heard all the wonderful things that have been said about him tonight. It has been said that leadership can be defined in one word. I don't know if you want to try to guess that one word. I'll give you 3 seconds. That one word is influence. And I am happy to say that since the hiring of Brian here as our interim superintendent, he's had a very positive influence on the teachers and staff in Franklin Township. From the very start, he established a climate of mutual respect and cooperation with the TFEA. I was disappointed to hear him be ridiculed last month by a board member simply for suggesting he would be making a proposal for a calendar change. Just a proposal. I commend Brian for only being an interim superintendent and making a more positive influence than some of our former long-term superintendents made here. This particular board member claims she never heard of teachers being unhappy or mistreated in Franklin Township. However, low morale has been a common theme in our district for many years now. Irene, former vice president of TFEA and president, upon retiring from the district, sent a letter to that same board member expressing some common issues we've had in this district. To save time, I'm not going to read that right now, though. Troy Walton, when he started, conducted a survey in 2014, which further showed evidence of low morale. He surveyed all 3 buildings, and one statement that we were to rate on a scale of 1 to 4 was this statement: I believe the staff morale in my building is positive. So on a scale of 1 to 4, Main Road had the highest ranking of 2.3 for morale, as reported by staff, self-reported. That was a 1.8 for Janvier's staff out of a possible 4, and a 1.3 from Ritter staff, overall rating out of possible 4 points. I'm not surprised morale is low. We are the lowest paid district in the county. At the April 2023 work session, the Board of Ed did refer to teachers as a circus, and we were criticized for owning nice cars and at the same time displaying settle now signs on them, as if we shouldn't be entitled to fair pay just because we have sufficient cars and transportation. At the negotiations in spring of 2023, at that time 60% of staff left over the course of 4 years. We are facing a teacher shortage, as John mentioned, and leadership that has a positive impact makes all the difference in retaining our staff. The former superintendent seemed to rule more with an atmosphere of fear and intimidation, especially regarding the attendance policy, in which we needed a doctor's note for every single time we were out, or we would be docked. He seemed to solve problems that way. If you'll be docked. Even after Governor Murphy expanded the use of sick days in July 2023, he tried to get TFEA leadership to agree that if we were out 5 days sick, at that time we would need a note or be docked. We would not agree to that, and he was pretty angry about that. I collected further evidence of our morale here when I conducted my own climate survey with the members of the TFEA, and here were the findings from that survey I wanted to share with you. Members responded to the following statements. Morale has improved since Brian Betts has become superintendent. 64% of respondents strongly agreed with that statement. With Brian as superintendent, I feel more seen, heard, and respected as a professional than I have in the past. 75% of respondents strongly agreed with that statement about Brian. If I were to leave Franklin Township, it would be due to, when there were various choices, the number 1 reason was pay. 78% chose that reason. Second reason was lack of support from the Board of Education. 61% chose that reason. Third reason was long and drawn-out negotiations, typically 2 years. Delsey's was 2 hours last time they settled, I was told by their president. It's a big difference. 51% chose long and drawn-out negotiations as the reason they would leave, and 27% reported low morale. So we're at pay for number 1, lack of support from the board, long and drawn-out negotiations, and then low morale is the 4th reason at 27%. Another statement was our Board of Ed, excluding the superintendent, is professional, supportive, and fair. 73% of the members reported they do not agree with that statement about our Board of Ed. Our superintendent is professional, supportive, and fair. 76% strongly agreed with that statement about Brian. Our administrators, excluding the superintendent, are professional, supportive, and fair. 14% reported they strongly agree with that statement about our administrators. Members were invited to add additional comments below pertaining to morale in the district. And I'll read some of the comments. One was, I believe Brian boosted morale of my direct administrators by entrusting them to run their buildings professionally, thus building morale from within. And I've heard that from various teachers. They feel the principals are in a better place also this year. At the February board meeting, to hear a previous Board of Ed president state she was unaware that there are employees who don't feel heard or feel mistreated despite many commonly known district-related problems was shocking and disappointing. It is obvious that more needs to be done to retain teachers in our district for longer than 1 to 10 years. Brian is an incredible superintendent. He is professional and supportive in every action he takes, from his weekly email updates to greeting students and staff in the hallways. It is clear that the board does not respect or appreciate teachers. The comments and actions made by board members has communicated this message clearly and destroyed morale, leading to experienced and well-trained staff leaving Franklin Township. I do not feel supported by the board or former superintendent, especially during the last negotiations. Faculty was very disrespected by comments made by board members. Since Brian has started, I have felt that he cares about the staff and what we want. He doesn't make decisions without input. His approach is calm and caring like a true leader. I feel like he is on our side and we're all working together. In the past, I felt like it was an us versus them mentality. I have invited Brian to come into my class a couple of times and he has accepted each time. When he is there, the kids and myself do not feel intimidated. They are excited to show him what they're learning, and he talks with them and makes them feel just as important as the staff. I love how involved the interim superintendent is. He is supportive, and I feel like our feedback is actually heard. The way the board members spoke to and about us at previous negotiations meetings is something that is hard to forget. I think that will forever have a stain on my morale in this district, at least until they are replaced. Brian has been doing a great job being a strong voice for the teachers. He has been supportive and listens to what we have to say. Brian sees that we are actually people and professionals, not just slaves to the system as educators. I think that's important to note because I never felt like that with the former superintendent. I don't feel like the board values me as that either, or even values teachers or paraprofessionals in the district. This is the first time in a long time that it feels like the superintendent values input from the teachers and actually makes decisions based on input. The Board of Ed president seems against us rather than for us. He seems to focus more on saving money than doing what's best for the students' education. Teachers are severely underpaid within our district. Some admin are out of touch with the classroom and have unrealistic expectations, and there's a lack of resources across the district. Many members of the board do not show that they are supportive or respect the teachers of Franklin. Teachers do not feel supported by the boards. The climate in this district is 100% better with Brian. There are still concerns with admin who don't fully listen to or support the teachers. Since the arrival of our interim superintendent, morale has greatly improved. The overall improved morale of teachers and admin have made it a much more enjoyable place to work. I can honestly say that our new interim superintendent and increased morale has helped me rethink looking for a new job. Okay, there is more, but it's more the same, so I'll stop it there. I was just going to say, it turns out you were right, Brian. You do attract more flies with honey based on all the comments from the members. And it has been a pleasure to work with you, and I hope that we can keep you as long as possible.
No, all I'll say is we've said from a year ago, when we knew Mr. Walton was leaving, that our intention as a board was to look for a superintendent. So that was not, anybody who's at Mr. Clement was one of my favorite superintendents. The only reason our process got delayed, and we didn't start before Mr. Walton left, was because of the consolidation talks that were much lengthier than any of us had planned. Had they not happened, or had they happened in a more timely manner where they had a clear decision, yes or no, in which direction we were going, this board probably would have moved to look for the superintendent with Mr. Walton on the seat. And I didn't come back on the board until the 2024. That was my great.
Yeah, I did hear a couple of comments about why we were looking for a superintendent, and that the reason why we hired Mr. Betts in the first place was due to the fact that we're looking at consolidation. To Stephanie's point, had that not been a factor, and in fact, I advocated to not delay for the hiring of the permanent superintendent back, in 2024 at this point.
And it may not, it may not have been a personal slight against Brian, but due to the fact he's doing such an exceptional job, and based on the feedback that it even makes teachers want to stay, and that is one of our goals, to retain staff, I just think it would make sense to keep him as long as possible.
Yeah, I agree. The overall feedback that I received is very positive. And like I said, that's my point with Mr. great. I mean, we did a great job with Mr. Betts, and we plan on doing as good, if not better, a job hiring our permanent superintendent. So I'm assuming he'll be as thrilled, if not more thrilled.
Well, we'll
with
see.
whoever is hired.
Perhaps not, because some hirings have not been as favorable. Maybe we got very lucky this time.
I don't know what the
And-
benefit is to relocate the past. I mean, I'm not saying that we can forget the past, however, we've established your feelings and the feelings of some of the members. We've looked at the areas that there's been improvement, and we want to continue to improve upon those areas. So certainly that would be the goal of the board.
Yeah, and not to rehash, but the past is important so we don't keep making the same mistakes. I mean, we, as a profession, we reflect, and we're constantly trying to adjust and improve. So I hope the same comments and thoughts would be made about our Board of Ed as we move forward.
Yeah, again, I'm not saying that we should ignore the past. I'm saying that we don't need to dwell on the past. I mean, here for public as a teacher, I'm not looking back to reliving something that previously happened. So I appreciate the comments.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Brand, may I add just one thing?
Sure.
Thank you. I just want to say that,
Again, a compliment.
okay, thank you. Yeah, okay, anytime, anything for you. Okay, I just want to say, I think what you heard is in the search for the next superintendent, it needs to be somebody who feels that morale is important. I think that's the key. I think that's what you heard. Years ago, when Mr. Weiser left, I don't know if any of you were even alive then, but anyway, okay, when Mr. Weiser left, that was when Mr. Scavelli was hired by that Board of Education. He said that, okay, Mr. Evans, who was the president of the Board of Education at the time, said that the #1 goal that board had was to hire somebody who would create positive morale in this district. All right, and I think that's what you're hearing. People just want to be appreciated, okay? And Mr. Starr, I just want to say this to you, okay? You and I have been around and around about this for years, okay? Your participation started, okay, in the community. Remember when? Anyway, okay, I didn't say it. 20 years ago? I didn't say it. I don't want to mention reconfiguration, but anyway, okay, and you're back serving this community again, and I want you to understand that I personally appreciate the fact that you're back, just like Mr. Shanklini, who keeps coming back to serve this community and this board, all right? And I just think that sometimes we say things and they're taken out of context. I know that myself. A lot of things I say are taken out of context, okay? But I just think that's important. I think this board, as you move forward, whether Mr. Betts is going to stay another year or not, whatever you do, I think the key is let's hire somebody that's going to make people feel like they matter. Because I've been here a while, and I'm going to tell you something. For a while, I didn't feel like I mattered, and I feel like I matter again. And you might say, well, what do you care? You're 35 years into this thing. What do you care? It matters because, okay, I don't want to go anyplace yet. All right? So that's my last bit. Thank you.
John, a comment to you and the rest of the staff in general. I've never gone through a full superintendent search, obviously. From my understanding, one of the purposes that we're hiring firms to assist us with that is specifically for stakeholder input. And it's my understanding that there will be stakeholder input from not only the community, but also the personnel. So I think we take, as well as the rest of the staff, take full advantage of that opportunity and make the case that you just made to us during that process.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you.
Anyone else? If not, make a motion to close the second public portion. Second. All in favor? I'll just review our upcoming meeting dates. We have a meeting scheduled for April the 16th, work session, and then a regular scheduled meeting April 28th. Please remind me where I think it is. March 27th for my staff negotiations. We do have the necessity to go into a second executive session for the purpose of actually discussing the superintendent search contracts. There may be action taken at the conclusion of that executive session to appoint someone to that position. So you're all welcome to stay. Not required to do so. I don't know I make a motion to come out of executive, second. Sorry. All in favor? I make a motion to approve the contract of Judith Wilson for the superintendent search, second. Treasurer Cole, please.
Grosso. Yes. Brown. Yes. Wilson. Yes. Smith. Yes. Czar. Yes. Finley. Yes. Ray.
Yes. Treasurer, you notify the other